Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Welcome to Right and Wrong. This is the show where we try to wake up the woke by talking common sense about the issues of the day. I'm your host, Brian Ruka, and with me as always over there is my man and yours, producer Juice. He is known from here all the way to China for one thing and one thing only, and that's speaking the truth all day, every day. Truth Box. What is going on tonight, my man? How you holding up?
Holding up, raring to go, my friend. A lot to get
I love
into.
it.
Excited, happy that we have what's this, 3 weeks in a row.
Ooh, consistent flow, baby.
Yeah, keep it up. We can't, like you said, can't ask them to tune in if they don't know when. So let's
I
get
love it. Oh, where to subscribe? That's YouTube, Rumble, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff, right?
You got it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
awesome. So we are now in the month of June, which the left has called Pride Month for decades at this point. This month typically comes with a never-ending stream of virtue signaling from major companies to sports teams to everywhere in between. It seems clear to me that after the fallout from the trans light nonsense, the whole Pride brand is definitely on the decline. I feel confident saying we've reached peak gay and are slowly descending back to normalcy. Let's call the old male transvestite flashing his fake breasts on Joe Biden's White House lawn the Mount Everest summit of the gay agenda. Now we are slowly but surely bringing things back to respectability. The supporters of the Pride agenda try to guilt trip and shame people into believing that it's just about treating those that are different than you kindly. They make it seem like it's about acceptance and tolerance. In reality, it's always been about subverting the American culture. We were told that what two people do in the privacy of their own home was nobody's business. We were told that same-sex couples were just as normal as normal couples. We were told that same-sex couples deserve to have children. Once it became normal for gay couples to have children, it was then necessary to teach our elementary age children that gay parents are just as normal parents. This, of course, snowballed into weird, creepy drag queens reading books to our elementary age children. Why? Well, because drag queens are just as normal people. Remember, friends, it's all about inclusion and love. The leaders and the supporters of the Pride agenda live in a fantasy world, and thankfully, the rest of us are realizing that we can put an end to all of this. The hard part is gaining back control of the power that will allow us to return to normal. The reason the Pride agenda has been able to grow is because it's been a slow progression, and it's been led by a bunch of nerds and outcasts. Most normal people don't have the time or the energy to argue with these people. So most normal people said, yeah, whatever, let them get married, whatever it takes to get them to stop barking at us. Not realizing that the leaders of this movement are like immature children. They will take a mile anytime you try to give them a little inch. And they probably like to dress up and bark at each other too. Did anybody think that this is what we were signing up for about 40 years ago? We've gotten to the point where my wife could only find one book in the children's section of the public library about Flag Day. One. That's it. In an American library in a suburb of Boston. She's looking to read stories to kids that are 2 and 3 years old. And there were a million options on display to celebrate Pride and Juneteenth, but only one designed to illustrate the pride and admiration we should have for the flag that symbolizes the greatness of our country. You see, the inclusion crowd always leaves out the reality that we do not live in a black hole sized world of never ending inclusion. Whatever new form of cultural morality that is introduced and included within the American culture is inevitably going to exclude something else. Hence the inclusion of gay children's books in the public library, leading to the exclusion of the American flag related books within the library. This inclusion exclusion mindset is at the heart of my worldview and my political philosophy. It's why I often want to skip past the base level political argument of the day and dig deeper into the root cause of said issue. For far too long, the Republican Party excluded the cultural appeal to their voters in favor of a fiscal appeal. The leaders would preach about being fiscally conservative but socially liberal. In my mind, everything starts with the culture that we live in the world that we are raised in. Everything else afterwards comes next. We've been teaching kids for decades now that being gay deserves a celebration. That obviously is designed to produce and, dare I say, groom more children into aspiring to be gay. We've been teaching kids for decades that our country is rooted in racism and is somehow evil. That obviously is designed to produce and indoctrinate more children into growing up to hate this country. Those children inevitably grow up and become teachers and politicians. They become guidance counselors and librarians. And when they're forced to make a choice between a book about Flag Day or a book about homosexuality, they're unfortunately choosing the latter every time. If we can take one lesson away from the story of Pentecost this past Sunday, it's that we have been blessed with the power of the Holy Spirit to help guide us as we speak out against the celebration of sin in our fallen world. Hopefully, the Spirit can use our tongues to speak the language that we will need to lead the children of God to his kingdom. And to all of those who seek to harm and confuse God's children through the celebration of Pride this month, well, I believe there's a millstone waiting for you somewhere. And with that being said, I do believe it's time to welcome in our good friend, Mr. Ric Flair, because it is showtime, baby. Woo!
Showtime!
Woo! Oh, yeah. What's up, brother?
Nothing. The whole library stuff got me thinking. I meant to do this before, and I was gonna kind of launch it here on the cast.
Yeah.
But I don't know, put it in the comments when I say this idea, if it's gonna help or hurt. But my plan is I'm going to the library ideally tomorrow, what have you. I've been there a bunch recently. My son's been tutoring. I saw at the front, full on Pride section. I Am Jazz, Pink is for Boys, whatever, all this stuff. I looked up that you can take out up to 50 books at a time. So I'm going to take, yeah. And this is probably, I'm going to take all these indoctrination type books, for kids, prepubescent kids. The board books, the picture books, taking all that, checking it out, whatever's left. I know we're halfway, a week into Pride Month, but taking all that, bringing it home, putting it in a drawer, you get to keep it for a month. Then I'm gonna bring it back.
I love it.
Like, I don't know if that means they're gonna stock up and be like, oh my god, the Pride section's killing it. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work.
Oh yeah, it's gonna encourage them.
Yeah, but if they go get more and restock it, I don't know, or just or they just prepare better next year. I don't know, but it's a small step I think I can take. Just check them all out. I don't know where it's going to land, but
no, and I'm definitely in favor of email complaints about these things, even if they ignore us and don't do anything. The more we have, that's like FOIA request type of thing. So if it's a government public website, or
Yeah.
email address,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's at least on record,
How
you
many
know?
books do you have on Pride versus how many books do you have for the same age children on topic X? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I know Ashley was like talking about what's going to happen next month. Obviously, it's not Pride, but how much of a display you guys going to do about the Declaration of Independence, the founding of our country? Like, there's no way they're going to
Yeah.
give it as much attention.
We're doing, yeah, my son's doing tutoring weekly. That's where we meet at the library. I pass him off to the tutor, and me and my daughter kind of, go on the computers,
Yeah,
look in the kids' book section. So I'm in there.
I like it.
I'll be reporting
We got
back.
eyes on the inside.
Yeah, live from the library.
This is a juice report.
But yeah, good stuff, man.
Oh, good stuff. All right, good. Well, I like it. Well, we got a lot to get to on today's show. Things were popping off over the weekend, and we're gonna do a big full on riot gear section here. But before we get to that, we got to hit the stuff that happened with Trump and Musk right before the weekend. I know it feels like that was like 2 weeks ago at this point, Juice. But obviously, we know Elon left the administration. It got to the point where it was one of those things where he had X amount of days that he could work without having to actually be confirmed and put on the books and divest from his own company, all that type of stuff. So we all knew this was coming. This point was coming. But what we didn't see happening was Elon going nuts and completely turning on our boy Trump. And that's just what happened for the whole world to see. And when you have two of the biggest, richest guys in the world, two of the biggest alpha males there are, and two of the biggest egomaniacs there are, things are going to pop off on the interwebs, on the social media things. And these two men both happen to own social media companies. So, needless to say, it was going wild. Juice, were you following that? I know you said you kind of stay away from some of this stuff lately, but I feel like that one was hard to avoid, right?
Yeah, do you want my thoughts on it or like, are you asking me now to jump in, or are you gonna give us more background?
Yeah,
Go at
yeah.
it.
Let's hear.
All right.
Let's hear. I think the
I think
background's there. People know.
yeah, okay. Where none of these are necessarily original thoughts, but digging and trying to find where I stand on this. And of course,
Okay.
with things, I always trying to go check, like, say, what is most likely the average thing is what's
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? The most simple answer is
Like he
probably
said,
the
she
answer.
said, and somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that, and I'm just saying, like, probably the simplest thing, like, yeah, they probably broke up. That's probably what happened. They're mad at each other. But
gotcha. Okay.
but the other part of me wants to look for, like, what is this a long con type,
Uh,
conspiracy type deal. And you know what I mean? Like him saying
yeah.
this stuff's out there, but him saying that Trump's on the Epstein files gets leftists to be like, show us the Epstein files. So,
Oh, so then
like,
it can.
you know what I mean? Where there's traditionally probably more leftists
Yeah.
on the Epstein files. So it's
Yep.
like,
I gotcha.
oh, hey, the left is calling for the Epstein files.
Oh,
You know
did
what
you
I
hear the
mean?
theory? You hear
But
the
yeah,
theory about Musk trying to get people to buy Teslas again?
yeah,
Like, oh,
like,
this is
cause
a way to
look,
get
I'm Trump.
people.
Yeah, yeah. But like maybe that's what I'm saying. Those kind of things. I hope it's something like that. I hope it's not, because like we had everything there for a bit, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we
Yeah.
do: shoot ourselves in the foot, as conservatives, what have you.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, I hope it's some wrestling gimmick,
Yeah.
come out with a
Yeah. A little
gotcha.
bit.
Elon turns heel and then comes back to being face again. That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping
Yeah.
for. But I mean, they probably, you have two big personalities in a room. You're gonna butt heads, and I don't doubt that. But I think that's believable. The Tesla one, that
It
like,
could
hey, I'm
be. It
gonna break
definitely
up
could
with
be.
Trump. Like yeah, the man's loaded, but a lot of it is tied up in his ownership of
Absolutely.
these things. Um,
Absolutely.
so
But
when, like, the right
so
doesn't really like Teslas and the left is burning Teslas, like, who's buying Teslas?
yeah. Yeah. So I think you're close. If you don't mind my I
No,
guess
I don't
I
know
guess
where it is. So
so I want to be where you are with that too, and that's the more fun way to think about it. But ultimately, I think it's because Musk is never. He was a Democrat, and he was a left-leaning Democrat. I bet you he would describe himself more as a libertarian, right? Libertarian, small government kind of a guy, where Trump is a he's going to use he's going to wield power, right? He doesn't mind using power, accumulating power, and when he has power, putting that thumb on the scale to get what he wants, right? And I think Musk has no experience within government. His experience is buying companies, building stuff himself. Not even just buying, but building from the ground up. Buying a company like Twitter and coming in and just being able to gut it. He doged the hell out of Twitter. You can't do that in the government because people are wrapped up in union contracts. You need approval for this, that, and the other thing. And I think this is a guy who just doesn't know how to operate within the confines of government and got frustrated, and he's used to getting his way. And I think he popped off and flipped out about it, basically. And I think it's kind of along those lines. And then I think he's obviously temperamental, and people are throwing around the fact that he's openly admitted to using certain drugs and stuff. And who knows? The guy's like, he's an eccentric genius, right?
Yeah, and like on the spectrum in some way.
Yeah,
absolutely. Not the gender spectrum, but
no,
but his son is.
Oh, I know, that's true. But so again, thank you though. That helps because ultimately the reason why I wanted to put this this pack. So obviously I know we got to get to the riots and stuff, and that seems like it's a little bit more pressing right now because this is it's a spat over these two guys. But at the heart of their argument, and the reason why I think it relates to what we just talked about in the open, is what you just mentioned, like what kind of a world do we want to live in, right? In what kind of a culture. I told you guys I'm a culture guy at heart, and I don't think Elon is. I think Elon's more do what you got to do, like do whatever,
100%, yeah.
But keep the government out of it,
like a letter or something, right?
Yeah, so that's where he's coming from, and that's why he he can't get behind this bill that needs to pass, the big beautiful bill. That's what has caused this entire thing because there's too much money being spent in it, and ultimately what Elon doesn't understand is the American government is the largest government in the world. It will be the largest government in the world, and it has been for a long time. You're not putting Pandora back in that box, right? There's no such thing as a small American government. What we need are the people in charge that when they have that power, they know how to wield it, they know how to use it. And how's Trump using it? He's the guy who's going to get illegal immigrants out of our country. He's the guy who's going to get drag queen story hour out of your libraries eventually if we give him time to cook, if we allow him the opportunity to use this power that he has. And if this bill dies, if we don't pass his key agenda right now, his whole presidency's over. The midterms come up, it flips, and they try to impeach him for 2 years. So we need this bill to pass, whether it's overloaded, more spending than we should, of course.
They always are, yeah. And
yeah, that's what I need Elon to get.
There's so much good in this, though. Like when you look at like the pros,
exactly
of this bill, how much good is in there. The get rid of CRT, they get rid of, the men and women's, like there's so much good that normally, like we're used to bills that are, huge and are packed with other people's priorities. This bill's huge, but at least it has our stuff in it.
Exactly. And that's what,
and I don't want bills that you can't even read and you vote at night. Nobody wants that because people, they're greasing palms. They're doing it on both sides. But yeah, at least this one has incredible stuff in it along with fluff versus
absolutely
stuff that we hate and fluff.
Exactly. Thank you. And we just need to get back to that. We need the wins. We need the control, because eventually, if we can go on a nice Republican run here, you chip away at all that other stuff and keep getting it, and keep, that's how you work on it, basically. But we don't go anywhere if it just blows up in smoke right here. So that's the frustration with Elon. That's that's where I stand there. Juice, anything else to add to
anytime he was talking about it, like it's not like he played, like he wasn't. Anything he was talking about was waste, inefficiency, etc. That's
fraud, abuse.
That was his.
Yeah.
he wasn't saying, and I think he does agree with women on like the obvious points of what you would call a conservative agenda, but
Yeah.
but I don't think like he pulled the rug out from under us in regards to who he is, who we thought they were.
Who are you saying, Trump or Elon?
Elon, like I don't think he came out as this Mr. I'm so cultural issue, but he was for Trump and
Oh yeah.
Let's get this budget under control. He was always
Yeah.
that inefficiency guy.
Absolutely.
Unless I'm
and
wrong.
ultimately it's
know.
going to help him and his businesses too. And that seems to be what like some of this came from. Trump thinks it's because they took out some electric
The
vehicle
EV
mandates.
stuff. Yeah.
Which again, it's like I'm for taking that stuff up. Why should you get we don't need to give people tax breaks by buying electric. I'd take away as much as possible from all this nonsense, lower, the spending any way you can. But again, it's those details are even the small points for me where it's just like these people need to be in control, like ultimately, because they're the ones who are going to help us on the culture.
Yeah, I'm holding out though on that. It's a ploy. I'm going to hold on to that.
Okay, I like it.
Expect the worst, but hope for the best, kind of thing.
All right, good
like
stuff.
I know they can't necessarily come out and be like, got you, but like, maybe they patched things up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Elon jumps back in for the
or
midterm.
Elon stepped on his feet and Trump didn't handle that well or whatever. But yeah. Let's move on to riots.
All right, good. We all know the left is doing what they like to do best, right? This weekend they've been popping off in California and LA. Mostly peaceful protests from what I hear, right, Juice? I mean, just a couple people kumbaya-ing it, locked arms, just peacefully staying on a sidewalk, single file, I think. Just stuff like that. Couple genuine
I have different
signs.
views than you do.
Yes, yes. We think differently, but we still love our country, like stuff like that, I think. So why don't we jump in and see the first piece of footage that we found. This guy looks like a nice guy you might want to have over to your house. Somebody that is just a genuine fighter, America first person. Juice?
Let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is. Mexican flag can,
this is criminal activity that I hope people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they?
So you kidding me? It's an American street in a major city in this country.
In the like, why are you waiting? Like, we go back to like, yeah, you can come here and assimilate, but be proud of your country, root for them in the sports, do everything, but you become American. Like, why you're protesting against people sending you back to Mexico by waving a Mexican flag? Like, I just don't get that.
Must be a great place to live, huh?
Yeah, like, so then, why are you fighting about going back if you're also waving the flag here? I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. You like that reporter? Oh, there it is. Mexican flag.
I like the guy on like the Sideshow Bob or Krusty the Clown bike. If you see him, go before. Got a mini one. Like.
Yeah, he was leading the way, like leading the charge. Oh, crazy. And I guess when you wonder how it got to this, like, and this is all, I guess, burying the lead a little bit here, Juice. This is all because they're upset about ICE, grabbing people and arresting people and ultimately deporting them. So this is a protest to ICE raids that have been going on in and around the LA area. I think there was stuff about, I don't know, I saw so many videos, so I don't know if we grabbed it here, if it's one of ours, but they were attacking like the ICE facility, like throwing rocks at it, trying to.
Yeah, I don't think I have that clip, but I've seen it.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
It's insane, and we wonder how we got here. And again, for all the people out there that want to try to say, "Oh, President Trump incited a riot on January 6th when he told people to go peacefully protest." He gave a regular speech and told people to peacefully protest. they're the same crew of people that hold press conferences and say stuff like this lady who is an LA city councilor. Juice, you wanna give us this?
Mobilized. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
And they're going to escalate their arrest tactics, Juice. We're going to escalate too. And that's where you get the guy lighting cars on fire and riding around in his motorcycle.
Calls for violence. We could put a whole 20-minute thing about there. Get in their face, tell them they're not welcome here. All that stuff from the but imagine if it was a pro, let's round these people up type of what would happen?
A demonstration, a pro deportation demonstration.
Yeah.
We should hold one of those.
Yeah. That will get shut down real quick. And then if you said like, oh, they're getting at us, we're going to come out here with better tactics, get strong with them, push back. That shit will get shut down immediately.
Yep. Or actually, what if you do this? If you want to pull in the next clip, actually, I think that's a good segue. What if you respond to this stuff the way President Trump responded by calling on a certain group of law enforcement people, group of military officers like this, Juice.
Law enforcement officers that are carrying this out as we see one more person, that person being dragged across the street for a moment there, being arrested.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see some of these people being detained by what appears to be federal law enforcement at this point. We believe that these are Border Patrol police that are on scene.
So there you go, Juice, right? They want to first block highways, come out, throw things at people, spit at people, throw Molotov cocktails at things, light cars on fire. So what's Trump's response? He's going to bring in the National Guard. And what's the left do there? Oh, this is authoritarianism. This is fascism. This is ridiculous. No place in America for something like that. Like, what else do you want to happen? Where else is this going?
Violence gets met with violence,
Thank you. And I'd rather side with the people that are in law enforcement to handle the violence and to be violent in the face of violence, not side with the people that are throwing bricks at them because they're worried that we're deporting people who are here illegally. Like, this is insane to me. There's no leg to stand on for the left.
Yeah, and it's
what is it?
Why I don't get you're standing up for people who are here illegally, where a lot of these people probably are fighting for the same benefits, or they're paying taxes and I mean you're paying taxes and they're not. Like, I feel like you should be like, you're cutting into our programs, you know what I mean? That's more of a leftist,
Absolutely.
Like, remember how we saw at the, hey, we can't have ball here anymore because it's a sanctuary thing at the Reggie Lewis Center.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of when you said that.
Yeah. Like,
we played that clip 6 months ago.
Like, I'm all for, like, if your thing is, hey, let's not accidentally deport somebody who was here legally again. Like, if that's your stance, hey, let's double check things. But if you're like, hey, let's not deport the people that we know who are here illegally, who aren't pumping into the fund and who are sucking on the teat.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. And those signs behind the congresswoman there, I mean, the councilwoman there, legalization, no deportation, like, and it's ultimately like, what do you want to amnesty everybody that's here? Like, no, like, get out and try to come back legally. Like commercial that you hear. I don't know if you, how often you listen to like the standard radio, but I hear the ad on sports radio around here, but it's Kristi Noem, doing a political ad, talking about, if you're here illegally, call this number. We will give you, I think we mentioned it at one point a few weeks back, but they'll help you get out of the country. They'll pay you to leave, self-deportation basically. And then
hold it
we will
against
help
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be able to eligible to reapply to come back in. But if we catch you and deport you, there will be no opportunity to
Yeah,
come
I'm
back.
for forgiveness. Be like,
let's do it.
hey, look, I was one of the first people to sign up on GAP. I came here for better opportunities. I admit
Yep.
my mistake, but please put me on the short list to come back.
Exactly. Exactly.
Instead, like, I can't imagine that just running, like, looking over your shoulder your whole.
I know.
Like, how could that be? People are coming here for freedom. Like, it must be really bad. You know what I mean? In order for this to be the other option, but like that's not like peace and freedom either. When you're like, is someone going to snatch me up?
Yeah, good call. It's like being a gangster.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to get whacked. Crazy. All right. Well, this was all going on Saturday night. I think most of it happened. It happened all weekend, but like Saturday night, I think was really bad. And our boy Trump happened to go to the UFC fight with his good friend Dana White, and this was the response that he received from the crowd in the UFC arena that night. I love it. Who was that? Jimmy Fallon coming in saying hi to him?
I don't know, but that like I don't know who it was, but he was like tapping him pretty early. He's still doing like
yeah.
You know, like
Oh, it's funny, but think about that. Like this guy, there's riots going on in LA, and he's on the horn in the lobby there and in the runway before coming out. Yeah, you know what? Screw this. Call the National Guard, the big, beautiful National Guard, send them in, and then goes out to the crowd. What's up? USA. Oh, it's awesome. Juice. Anything else to add to these riots at the moment?
One other clip that I think we have one that you didn't.
It's perfect. It's perfect because I'm gonna tie this one in right here with our kind of slide topic, which is I wanted to talk about media manipulation again. One of our favorite things. In this clip that Juice is talking about continues the riot coverage, but also goes hand in hand with the way media manipulates things and how we always have to be on the lookout for that stuff. So without further ado, Juice, you want to give this one to them?
Yeah, this is hilarious. So sad. It's funny, kind of.
Of people, it could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
So
wait a minute. Did we hear that right, Juice? Do you want to take that again and let's know what this guy said?
Don't get the police in between them and a good car burn.
Yeah. People, it could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
So
what do we do wrong? We're just trying to watch the world burn.
Yeah. Some guys just want to watch the world burn.
And you're going to send the police in here?
Send the police in. Guys, we got people coming in with the marshmallows, the chocolate, the graham crackers. We're going to be doing some s'mores over those burning cars.
That guy's like, hey, like what's very peaceful right now could turn into a clash. Like, could be
things are going good right now, but bring in some police and all hell's going to break loose. Oh, my goodness.
And the other one was like in the, so this is a sandwich of clips, right? The first one was, oh my, where are the cops? What are we doing? Look at, and then it's
this guy
having some fun.
Oh, just the guy with the Mexican flag on his dirt bike trying to do a few wheelies.
Like it used to be crazy, right? To see like a car burning and like,
yes.
And now he's like that's just become commonplace. So he's like, dude, it's just a couple there,
Yeah. Now I'll admit, like, I don't know if you're into these movies or not, but I'm sure there's people that I know they're pretty popular. But I've never seen a Mad Max movie before. That's just from trailers alone.
Yeah, from trailers.
That's what that reminds me of. Like, right? It's like the inmates have taken over the asylum. That looks like a third world country, a third world city, and that's a major city in the United States of America right now.
Post-apocalyptic, dystopian, like how they describe, a movie or something.
Exactly.
The cars
It's
burnt out
just
on the
sad.
side of the road. Yeah. Everybody has to have a gas mask on because.
And you know what's like frustrating too is it's like again, kind of go back to one of the themes early, like throughout the show here. Like, who's going to use the power? Who's going to wield power? Right? Who's going to decide to use it? Joe Biden had the power to stop this illegal immigration and chose not to. Trump came in and said, we didn't need a new bill. We needed a new president, right? Like that was like an awesome line that he dropped in his State of the Union. And we need to keep going with that mindset and go further because it's not like our cities need to look like that because we don't have the resources for it. We don't have the capability. We don't have the weaponry for it. We don't have the equipment for it. No, we do. We just don't have the balls, basically.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't have enough normal people, regular citizens, to be okay with it. To see if it's not going to be fun to watch. It's going to make you queasy. But would you rather deal with like cleaning this stuff up, dragging people off the streets, locking them up, deporting them, or would you rather just cross the street and go on the other side of the street when there's all this nonsense going on? Would you rather go down Molina Cass in Mass Ave with all the people, homeless camps, tents, and smoking weed, shooting dope? And would you rather just avoid that area of town or just deal with it and be done with it? It's crazy. It's mind-boggling, Juice.
Ding.
Oh, so frustrating because there's a solution. It's just we need to stop feeling bad about it. With the United States of America, it's okay. We can live in clean cities. We can live in a safe environment. Oh, sorry. Do you want to? This now shifting off the riots, I guess, right? Because that was the last little riot stuff that we had. Unless you have something else to add to the riots, okay. I think we kind of covered that, but along the lines of media manipulation. So look at the way they just covered the riot, right? And we all know the BLM riots of mostly peaceful protests back in the day. Now this one is just.
So that was Fox News versus ABC or something, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we have our favorite press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, coming in, and she's going to highlight media manipulation here. Now, this clip was from probably like a week ago at this point. I think it was like Monday, Tuesday last week. And again, it feels like with the schedule of shows for us, so much happens in between shows. It's insane. But this clip was phenomenal, and I wanted to make sure to show it to you guys. And it just highlights, the nonsense that we deal with the media. So, Juice, you want to give it to us?
Washington Post just ran one of the most ridiculous headlines ever, even by their standards. And on my very first briefing several months ago, I said I would hold anyone accountable in this room. The Washington Post actually had this headline: the mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the U.S.-Mexico border. How is this mysterious? There is no mystery about why there is a decrease in fentanyl coming into the United States. This administration's strong border policies are the reason there has been a decrease in fentanyl trafficking. His strengthened relationship with Mexican President Sheinbaum and all of the measures he has been taking to deter illegal human and drug trafficking at our United States southern border is the reason for plummeting fentanyl seizures at the U.S. border. There is nothing mysterious about that, and we'd like to see the Washington Post update their headline accordingly. This is clearly trying to intentionally manipulate the minds of the Americans, and I think the American people understand why there's been a fentanyl drop. And our office responded to this inquiry. We provided a whole host of the reasons that fentanyl seizures at the southern border have dropped, and the Washington Post refused to run them, and that's despicable.
Juice, can you believe that?
Dude, I'm sick of being insulted like that.
Seriously.
What does it take to... I know not consuming it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't read the Washington Post or go to their website, but like,
how many people do, right? That don't pay attention as much as we pay attention. Like, obviously we do a show about it. So where we are watching some of these things a little bit more than just your average Joe Schmo, but what if that's your news source? Your whole life, you grab the Washington Post, you open it up and you read it.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Gets
sad.
delivered to your house. Yeah. I mean, I feel like most people would there has to be a very small section of people who don't realize that's disingenuous, that are
Yeah, that's
paying
true.
attention to the political. But I'm saying the fact that they're not outraged too, because like, just don't we want truth? Like,
Yes,
shouldn't
you
that be
should.
what, okay, if it bleeds, it leads, and then, after that, truth.
Yep. Yep.
Like why would you want to read just, you know, propaganda, like
Yeah.
buy
Well,
propaganda?
and I think it's because, like, honestly, like this could be something, maybe develop a little bit more of this thought at some point and workshop it. But I'm, thinking about it here in real time. But it, I think it's a lot of us have been trained nowadays to to you know give our common sense to the expert class. Like, right, it's, even you watch sports, and I complain about it all the time. You can't just objectively watch a game and be like, that guy's a good player, that guy's a bad player, because someone's going to come along and say, well, actually, did you see that his percentage of strikeouts versus his long launch ball angle determines that this guy's actually the better player than this guy.
Yeah, exit velocity I've seen recently and all that, and WISP or whatever that
And
is.
it's crazy. It's great, but it's like it's trying to convince you that, and sports is just an example there, but every aspect of our lives, like, oh, should we take this experimental drug that we have know nothing about? Well, the expert class says we should, so we might as well do it. Should we ever ask a question about the hepatitis vaccine that we're given to our 2-day-old child? Well, the doctors say you should do it, so we might as well do it. And on and on and on, right? Because we've been trained to not trust ourselves at all. So that person that you described reading the Washington Post, maybe they genuinely think like, oh, you know what? Oh, if they say it here, they print it in here. What am I? I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
What do I know?
What do I barely even know how to spell fentanyl?
Yeah, exactly. Is it an F or is it one of those PH things?
It's complex. It says they said it's a complex issue. What do I know? It's a mystery. Not that,
exactly.
Oh, hey, like, and that's the thing, right? If you drop a little bit of truth here and there into your thing, people will be that more apt to believe your propaganda, but they won't even give you one slight truth. Like, we're like, oh, okay, rise in deportation leads to decrease in fentanyl, like, because everybody
can we connect those dots?
Yeah. But they're like, no, it's no reason. It's
See, the people aren't happy that they're being deported. They're upset. So, and I actually heard a comment. Again, what do we like to say on this show? We're not what kind of guys? Not facts, not stats kind of guys. But I guess Trump's trying to put something. He's trying to put something in place that any money that goes back to Mexico, leaves America from Mexico, is subject to a 3% tax. And the Mexican president's pretty upset about it. But it's like, the design of something like that is so people that are here illegally and are shipping money home, like, that's going to now be taxed. Like, it leaves America, goes there. There's going to be an extra tax, which I think is a great idea. Don't know why I decided to bring that up there. I forget how that related. But just more thinking outside the box by our man, I guess. What else do you have to say about that, Juice? The media manipulation? Anything?
Not so much about that, but just props to Caroline. She's so good.
She's awesome.
Well, she's awesome. And it's like, spoiler alert, we might talk about her predecessor, but like, she is awesome, but like, the bar wasn't high.
It was very low.
Yeah. So it makes her look even more awesome, but I think she just actually is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did forget one thing to read about the riots too, just quickly. The loser of the presidential election weighed in on it, Kamala Harris, and and she posted this, Office of Kamala D. Harris. Quote, Los Angeles is my home, and like so many Americans, I am appalled at what we are witnessing on the streets of our city. Deploying the National Guard is a dangerous escalation meant to provoke chaos. In addition to the recent ICE raids in Southern California and across our nation, it is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. And it goes on and on and on from there. But that's
I thought you were going to say she's like, this is atrocious that these people are out here burning vehicles.
No. Not at all. And imagine if our next person had to stand up there and defend someone like her. We would have really been screwed. So as we shift to the ending of the show here, Juice, what segment is this?
It's a come on man segment of the day.
Absolutely. It's that time where we like to find a clip of somebody saying something, doing something so absurd, so ridiculous that even though we're going to make fun of them for a couple of minutes here, there's not much else we could say to them except, oh, man. Exactly. And as you guys may have guessed it, it's KJP. What did you like to call her, Juice?
Karen Jean Pierre.
Yep. I like that one.
What's there do? America's lesbian lady. What do you mean? What I used to call her? Did I call her?
No, you liked that name. No, that was Matt Walsh brought that one up.
Yeah,
you loved it, Karen Jean Pierre. That's a great one. No, she's just so black, so gay, so fetch that she's just, I guess, the perfect choice for a Biden press secretary. Now, in case you guys haven't heard, she has been hanging in the weeds, laying in the weeds, hanging low, trying to figure out what her next move would be. I have heard rumors that she tried to get herself on The View and they just didn't return her phone calls. I think she's languishing, trying to find a gig. Jen Psaki got herself a primetime slot. I don't think they're giving one of those to KJP. So what does she do? What most leftists at heart would do anytime things don't go their way. Take their ball and go home. And in this case, she's leaving the party and wants to become an independent now, Juice. And in case you were wondering, she wrote a book about it, right? And why that now she can be independent and tell you the inside scoop from the Joe Biden White House. So I guess let's go to her and hear what she has to say about this book that she wrote.
How do you write a book if you can't read or write or talk? Right?
I don't know, man.
Rumor has it that the book doesn't come like as a traditional hardcover or a soft cover. It comes in a binder. You know that binder she used to.
Oh, it's awesome.
Flip through for answers. Here we go. Let's see what she has to say.
I'm Karine Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way that anybody has ever come to her and say, Karen, how do we get out of this mess? No one's ever asked her for her opinion or help or
Never once. Not
how
once.
do I get into this box? Out of this box.
I love it. Was she sitting in the bookstore there too to give this
Yeah.
little spiel? Like what was
the
that?
library.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Well, Juice, what about all the things she says right at the end of that too? Like, oh, and we can, whatever, like not hold up barriers. If you're willing to respect the community that I am from
My
and the
vulnerable
communities I
community.
represent and communities that then we can do this together. So in other words, if you agree with transgenderism, if you agree with the homosexual agenda, if you agree with affirmative action, racist
DEI.
policies, DEI, if you agree with all of that stuff, then sure, I'll work with you.
But like,
Yeah, we'll
hey,
just call ourselves the left.
Everything I believe, everything that I'm standing for is the complete opposite of what you're standing for. So how can we stand
Exactly.
on it together?
And framing it like that. If you respect, yeah, but you're gonna tell me when I tell you that they shouldn't be gay, trans, Juneteenth books in my local library all over the place on display for children 10 and under, you're gonna tell me that I'm not respecting you. Even if I could say that respectfully to you, I could lay out my objections to it. It's psychotic. They're children that are 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. They could care less what they're supposed to do with their penises or vaginas at this point in their lives. It's weird and creepy for adults to be telling children about that at that age. Little Johnny, who has 2 mommies, it's not the same as someone who has a mom and a dad. Like, no, I'm going to tell you that that's weird, wrong, and shouldn't be allowed. Can you work with me? Are you going to respect that? If you want to, can we go forward from there? Like,
yeah. So no. So we're exactly where we started.
Exactly.
But
so how are you independent?
What is that book about? What is it? What's in there? Like, one, she didn't write it.
No way.
Like, it's written with crayons. Like when you open it up, like because she said it comes out October 21st or whatever. It looks like she had a copy, like, so it probably hasn't been like this, blank page. Like she has a.
Is it the Knowles book? The reasons to vote for Democrat. Oh man, it's crazy.
Like, yeah, how do we get out of this mess, Karen? Yeah, here's a whole book on it.
There's a whole book, 2 pages that are written on.
She did in the 2 minutes, come out like you keep saying the same thing. She's doing the boxes, a box bit. We got to think outside of the boxes instead of in the box. And at the end, she's like, the box. If you think about the boxes,
the word salad of boxes. Oh man, it's crazy. I don't get it. I hate that all these people that didn't treat us with respect. You said it earlier, Juice. Like don't like I forget the way you phrased it, but don't treat me like an idiot.
And don't piss on my leg and say it's raining.
Exactly. Like you're gonna sit there for the last 4 years doing the nonsense you did up there with a straight face, and now you're gonna come out and say, "Oh, about that, guys, I'm actually independent." Like,
yeah, because you have to obviously distance yourself from Biden.
Exactly. But, and same idea with the Jake Tapper book and stuff too, where you touched on it moments ago, that the media, they're going to tell you one truth, and that's going to be like okay for the 15, 16, 100 lies that they tell you in between. Like, oh, okay, we're going to say now, like, oh, you know what about that? Do the old Bradley Cooper thing from The Hangover. We effed up. Like, we put Joe out there. Like, we knew about it the whole time. I Our bad. Here's the book about it. Now, though, going forward, when we tell you Gavin Newsom's a good dude, you know, he's great. We tell you Liz Warren and the Bernie bros are all good. Like, nothing to see here, people. We told you about Joe after the fact. So that gives us our credibility back, right? It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. So, Juice, you got anything else to add to your girl?
No, I'm done with it.
All right, awesome. So, Karen Jean-Pierre, you and your stupid book have earned yourself one big fat classic.
Come on, man.
Exactly, and that's the show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again, as always, for tuning in. You know, hit us up, give us a like, give us a comment, share with a friend. You know, any new people that listen, we love that you're here. Please tell someone else about it. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, you know, any help is much appreciated. And Juice, you got anything else to add?
On a personal privilege.
No, I'm good.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for having
us. Have a good night. Appreciate it. Good fun.
Boom.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.